What if I told you that a narrow sea passage in the Middle East quietly controls the energy supply of the entire modern world? This small waterway is called the Strait of Hormuz, and it sits between Iran on one side and Oman on the other. At its narrowest point, this strait is only about 33 kilometers wide, yet its importance is far greater than its size. Nearly 20% of the world's oil supply travels through this tiny corridor every single day without stopping. That means millions of barrels of oil move through here daily, feeding industries, cities, transport systems, and entire economies. Countries like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, and the UAE all rely on this route to export their oil to the world. On the northern coastline, Iran overlooks this passage from elevated cliffs and strategic military observation points. On the southern side, Oman and the UAE sit quietly, forming the other edge of this globally critical choke point. This is not just a normal shipping route. This is what experts call a geopolitical pressure point. If this passage were ever blocked, oil prices across the globe would spike within hours, not days. This is exactly why the United States Navy keeps a constant presence in and around these waters throughout the year. Warships from different countries quietly patrol here, not for war, but to make sure trade never stops. Because any disruption in this area would immediately affect fuel prices, shipping routes, and global financial markets. Iran has, many times in the past, warned that it could block this strait if tensions with the West increase. And whenever such warnings appear, energy markets around the world react almost instantly with sharp price movements. But this tension is not something new. Its roots go back more than 4 decades into regional conflicts. During the Iran Iraq War in the 1980s, this area became the center of what was called the Tanker War. Ships were attacked, naval mines were placed in the water, and global oil supply suddenly became uncertain. That period made the entire world realize how fragile and sensitive this narrow sea route truly is. Since then, Hormuz has never been seen as just water, but as a strategic global lifeline. Today, the volume of oil and cargo passing through this strait is even higher than it was decades ago. Thousands of commercial vessels cross this narrow passage every single month without the world even noticing. On average, nearly one large ship passes through here every 15 minutes, day and night. All of them must carefully navigate this tight corridor surrounded by politically sensitive coastlines. Iran's coastline provides elevated observation points that overlook much of the shipping activity below. Radar systems, patrol boats, and coastal defenses remain active here at all times as a precaution. Across the water, international naval forces maintain their own watchful presence to balance the situation. This creates a silent standoff where no one wants conflict, but everyone stays prepared for it. This creates a silent standoff where no one wants conflict, but everyone stays prepared for it. Because even a minor incident in these waters could quickly become an international crisis. A small collision, a warning shot, or a seized vessel here can instantly grab the attention of the entire world. Because markets understand that any trouble in Hormuz directly threatens the global flow of energy supplies. Oil traders, shipping companies, and governments constantly monitor updates related to this narrow passage. Even rumors of tension here are sometimes enough to push oil prices higher within hours. Because modern cities, airlines, factories, and transport systems all depend on uninterrupted fuel supply. If Hormuz were suddenly closed, the shockwaves would be felt from Asia to Europe and beyond. Fuel prices would rise quickly, affecting everyday people far away from this region. Shipping costs would increase, making goods more expensive in international markets. Insurance companies would raise premiums for tankers traveling anywhere near these waters. And global trade would begin to slow as uncertainty spreads across supply chains. That is why advanced satellites continuously scan this region, tracking ship movements and unusual activity in real time. Surveillance drones also fly above these waters, quietly observing without being noticed from below. Naval forces regularly conduct exercises nearby to stay prepared for emergencies that may never happen. All of this preparation exists for a situation that every country hopes to avoid completely. Because actually blocking Hormuz would be considered an extreme step with very serious consequences. Iran understands that such a move would trigger immediate political and possibly military reactions worldwide. It could lead to sanctions, naval confrontations, and rapid escalation that nobody truly wants. That is why threats related to Hormuz are often used as strategic pressure rather than actual action. This narrow passage becomes a powerful bargaining tool in larger geopolitical negotiations behind closed doors. In many ways, Hormuz is less about water and more about influence and global leverage.